thing. No practicing myself, so you're probably better off than I am. Yeah. Let's settle in. Lying down, sitting up, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Happy to have this cool morning. The windows open and really celebrate summer on Long Island without the humidity. So using your exhales to just come to your practice, aware of the earth beneath you and the vast sky above you, and your beating heart and breath that lies between the two. Just thinking about what brought you here today. What is your hope for your mind, your body, your spirit? Maybe it's something you're working on in your everyday life. Placing that in an I am statement, repeating it softly to yourself as if it were true and already happening. Gently focusing on your breath, aware of the inhales, aware of the exhales, without controlling or changing anything. And entering into your practice with that same awareness. Curious of what pops up today. Without judgment, without expectation. What can we learn through awareness of the body, focusing on the breath? How can we use that awareness conserving energy, restoring, bringing ourselves back into balance? And with your next inhale, extending the arms up overhead, softening through the shoulders as you reach through the fingertips, finding the breath, and then floating the arms out to the side or next to your hips, whichever works for you. And with your inhale, reaching open, and with your exhale, tapping the center of your chest or lowering the arms to either side of the hips. Just linking simple movement with breath, moving the arms without any effort. Letting go of the back of the neck, of the jaw, softening through the back. With your next inhale, allow the arms to extend out in T. Aware of the breath filling the front and back of the heart space. And if you are sitting, maybe coming to lie flat on your back. Finding that middle ground, letting go of efforting and allowing for the ease of breath. And with your next exhale, gather the belly, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug. Maybe rocking from side to side, if that feels right. Or resting in the stillness of the pose. Just checking in as you scan your body with your breath. What have you brought to your practice today? And where can you use the breath to soften? Releasing that bind and allowing the feet to float to the earth with bent knees. Walking the feet the width of the mat and finding your windshield wiper as you exhale, both knees float to one side, inhaling up to center and exhaling over to the other. Breath initiating the movement. Noticing, does one side feel a little different than the other? Can you soften a little more? Aware of the movement so you can compare it to the end of class. Nice, and the next time you inhale up to center, find stillness, allow the knees to soften together as the feet stay wide. And then adjust your feet so you're not hugging the knees, they're just resting naturally. Becoming aware of the breath in the back body. The ribs expanding, opening, allowing the lungs to fill, reaching towards the earth, and then gently hugging away from the earth. Noticing where the thoughts take you, and then letting them go, not going into that story, just staying with the breath, just for now. And then walking the feet back to hips distance, exhaling, the left knee draws in for a hug, interlacing the fingers in the back of the thigh, softening through the shoulders, letting the shoulders rest on the earth. Maybe you have space to interlace the fingers on the shin and still keep the shoulders soft. Your body, your practice, which feels right for you. Soften with the exhales. Inhale. Allow the belly to fill. The leg to move gently away from you. And with your exhale, hug the belly in and up. Draw the knee a little closer. Notice what you notice. No judgment. No effort. Not that you're breathing into the belly. You're breathing into the side ribs. Allowing for a deep expansion that echoes into the belly. And the next time you inhale, release the bind, extend the leg straight up to the ceiling, reaching into the heel, flex and point. Soften through the back of the knee to allow a softening through the back of the thigh. Make some circles through the ankle, one direction, and then the other. And then come to stillness, fan the toes out, curl them in. And then reaching into the heel as you draw the toes towards you. Is the big toe pointing directly overhead? You need to rotate the leg in the hip socket one way or the other. Just noticing how that feels. And with your next exhale, crossing the ankle over the thigh. And then using your breath to become aware of what you feel, what you notice without judging it or forcing it. Maybe you have space to walk that right heel a little closer to the sitting bone. Keeping the front ribs from popping up to the ceiling. Soften the back to the earth, and maybe with your exhale, both knees float to the right. Inhaling up to center, landing on the sacrum, not rocking to the left. Just being aware, so aware that you're finding that neutral spine and space with equal weight on both sides of the hips. allowing for the lengthening on the left side as you, almost as if you were standing, that the sole of the left foot on the floor, knee to ceiling. It never has to reach the floor. Maybe one more time like this. And then inhaling back up to center. Exhale, roots to the earth, and inhale, extend that leg straight up one more time. And with your next exhale, as you gather the belly, slowly lowering that leg to release to the earth. Extending straight out. Placing the right foot on the thigh or the shin. Yes. Extending the right arm out in T off the collarbone, and using the left hand to exhale, draw that right knee over into a twist. Not forcing, just guiding. Inhale up to center. Exhale, rolling onto the pinky toe side of the left foot, letting that right hip lift. Exploring in this gentle, probably first twist of the day. Noticing what you notice without expectation or judgment. One more round like this. Drawing that knee over and then coming to stillness and extending the right leg out to meet the left. Take a couple of rounds of breath here. Just noticing any sensation in the body. Using the exhales to soften. Noticing how you are in stillness. What thoughts start to tug at you. Honoring them and gently drawing the focus back to the breath. We have some expectations because we've done one side and now we're on to the other. So letting go of any expectation and just coming into the practice, awareness of the body with curiosity. Exhaling the right foot to the floor with a bent knee and the left foot to the floor with a bent knee, right knee comes in for a hug. Soften through the shoulders, interlacing in back of the thigh or over the shin, which feels right for you. Shoulder blades resting on the earth, soft jaw, long back of the neck. Easy breath. Inhaling, allowing the thigh to back away from the belly. Exhaling, maybe giving it a little guidance to come closer. Your body, your breath, what do you notice as we allow the muscles down from the base of the neck to the back of the knee to lengthen, to regain their length without forcing. And the next time you exhale, find stillness, release the bind, and inhale, extend that right leg straight up. Reaching into the heel, flexing and pointing, rotating through the ankles, one direction and then the other. And then finding stillness there as you fan the toes out and curl them in. And then reaching into that heel, drawing the toes towards you. Softening the back of the knee to allow the back of the thigh to release. Are the toes pointing directly overhead? Can you rotate the entire leg in the hip socket, which feels right for you, so that the knee is facing you, not to one side or the other. And then keeping that flexed foot, crossing the ankle over the thigh. Aware of sensation in the right side body. Moving deeper as you find the space, as you walk that left heel a little closer to the sitting bone. Softening that right knee away from you, maybe staying here. Breathing into the right side body. Maybe with the breath you're moving as you exhale, bringing the sole of the right foot towards the left, and then inhaling back up to neutral. Exhaling slowly, lengthening through the right side body. Gentle twist, exploring with curiosity. What does this side hold? Are you landing flat on the sacrum or going a little too far to the right? No judgments, just noticing. Deep awareness, how you're moving in the pose. Using the breath to guide you. And then coming back up to stillness. Exhale there. Inhaling, extending that leg straight up one more time, reaching into the heel. And then exhaling with control, slowly lowering that leg to extend straight out on the floor in front of you. Placing the left foot on the shin or the thigh. Extending the left arm straight out in T, softening there, and using the right hand to exhale and draw that left knee over, allowing the left hip to lift, rolling onto the right side, the pinky toe side of the right foot, inhaling up to center, moving with the rhythm of your breath as your body allows, not forcing it into a shape you're not ready for. It's noticing. Spacious awareness with curiosity, as if you were doing the practice moving for the very first time. And then coming back up to center and allowing that leg to extend and then lowering it back down onto the earth, one next to the other. Inhaling both arms up overhead, reaching from fingertips to heels as you flex the feet and then point the toes. And then coming back to stillness there. Bending the knees, floating the feet to the floor. Arms alongside the body, a little away from the hips, tucking one shoulder blade and then the other underneath the heart space. With the head resting on the earth, tucking the chin towards the notch in the collarbone. Soles of the feet rooting to the earth, shoulder blades actively rooting to the earth, no effort. With your inhale, as you press into the feet, the sacrum lifts to the ceiling. With your exhale, it softens down. Maybe this isn't working for you already, you know that, and you're taking pelvic tilts. Exhaling, hugging the belly button to the earth. Inhaling, rocking hip bones to knees. And when you're ready, then coming into your expression of rolling bridge. So maybe 6 more rounds of breath like this, experimenting with your body. Curious about what you've brought to your practice. How your body moves with the breath. No expectation, feet or hips distance. So that the knees stack over the ankles. Hugging the inner thighs together as if you had a block between your thighs. Maybe we'll do that. If you have a block nearby, allowing the hips, sorry if that wasn't 6 rounds of breath, let the hips rest on the floor. Take a couple of rounds of breath here. If you have a block nearby or even a pillow, placing it long ways as if a Pez were coming out from between your thighs. You're a Pez dispenser, right? So not between the knees, but between the thighs, placing the block there, just with the feet resting on the floor, gently hugging the block. Do you feel that action? and how it moves all the way up into your hips, lower back. Everything's connected. And then with your next inhale, lifting the hips, keeping that action, exhale, lower down. More muscles that you enlist, the easier it becomes, rooting the shoulders to the earth, softening the jaw. One breath leading to the next, just experimenting. Exhale, lower down, remove the block. Just 3 more rounds like this. Finding that same active inner thigh work to help support the pose, the movement. With your inhale, the heart lifts towards the chin as the front body opens. With your exhale, slowly lowering down. And coming to rest. Excuse me. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the knees to come in the direction of the chest. As your anatomy, your body allows. And aware of the breath moving into the back body. Aware of the softening of the muscles that allow the lungs to fill. Just the diaphragm contracting, drawing the breath into the lungs, and then gently softening to release. The rhythm of your breath, restoring, energizing, and the awareness of that breath, bringing a calm, a peace to the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's always there. As we become aware of the breath, we become aware of everything around us. Letting go of those nagging thoughts, of the stories, so that we can be right here in the moment. It's a practice. It's not our natural state. Using your hands on the floor in front of you to press yourself up. And then over onto tabletop. Taking the time to pad your knees. Whatever you need to do to feel comfortable, safe, and supported. With the wrist creases just in front of the shoulders, with the fingers spread wide, as if you were a beginner, setting up that foundation. The support that you need to move through the vinyasa. One movement connected to the next. Soften. As you slide the shoulder blades away from the ears, they become active on the back body. We root the palms, the pads of the fingers to the earth, and all the muscles in the shoulder girdle support us so that we're not hanging. The pit of the belly gathers in and up. With your inhale, extending that right leg straight back, keeping the shoulders, the body right where it is, just reaching through that heel as the toes curl under. That leg extends. Maybe rocking forward and back on the toes if that feels good for you, working into the back of the leg, the calf. Where do you feel this? And then finding stillness there, recommitting to the foundation, to the awareness of the breath. Inhaling, that leg extends straight up from the hip. Hugging the front ribs up to the ceiling, supporting the back body. Inhaling, maybe the right arm, the left arm can extend alongside the ear. Maybe not today. Softening the back of the neck and the jaw. Long spine. With your exhale, knee to elbow, rounding through the back body slowly, mindfully. With your inhale, extending, lengthening. Maybe that arm needs to float to the earth and you're just drawing the knee to chest. not the elbow. No effort, just exploring with curiosity, knowing that it's the core body guided by the breath, the movement guided by the breath that helps you to sustain it. Maybe one more time like this. Inhaling, extending, and exhaling, softening the hand and the knee back to the earth, walking the big toes to touch and the knees to come wide. Reaching the hips in the direction of the heels. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly. Exhale, bow to the earth, slowly coming to rest in child pose. Allowing the forehead to make contact with something. Stacked hands blanket block the earth. And then finding the breath. Noticing what you notice without judgment. And you soften with the exhales. Moving deeper doesn't necessarily mean moving the physical body deeper. Moving deeper into awareness. Allowing the thoughts to float away. Bringing the focus back to the breath. Guiding it into the lungs to fill the back body completely. Aware of the echo as the entire body accepts the breath. With your exhale, gathering the belly and walking the hands back under the shoulders to inhale yourself back up and onto all fours. The knees come back under the hips. And you find that foundation rooting to the earth, the support that you need, the softening through the shoulders and the back of the neck, but engaging the muscles at the same time. Keeping the shoulders right where they are. Inhaling, that left leg extends back, curling the toes under, reaching into the heel, maybe rocking forward and back as you explore the back of the left leg. And then finding stillness, rooting to the earth, softening and inhaling that leg straight out from the hip so that both hip points still face the earth. And when you're ready, committing to the left hand so you can inhale the right or vice versa. It's hard for me to do this on Zoom. Softening through the shoulders so the arm rests in the shoulder socket but still extends. Can you find that balance? Exploring, moving deeper as it feels right for you or available. And then with your next exhale, as the belly gathers, the knee and the elbows start to come together. And then they slowly move with the breath to extend. Or maybe just the knee comes in and the arm comes down, honoring your body. It's not less than, it just is, so that you can make the practice accessible. Using the breath to guide you, exploring this side. It's probably a little different. The next time you inhale and extend, find stillness there, and then floating back down to the earth and finding child pose again, your expression. Maybe knees stay together, and that feels accessible to you right now, allowing the belly to rest on the thighs and rounding deeply through the lower back, or maybe the big toes touch and the knees walk wide. To open through the hips and find a long straight spine. as the heart melts to the earth and the third eye rests and the breath moves to fill the back body, the back of the heart. Just acknowledging, becoming aware of how you are in the stillness, what happens in the stillness. Allowing the breath to bring you back into a state of peace and rest. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale, the breath that restores us and guides us and gives us energy. Exhaling there and inhaling back up onto all fours. Walking the hands forward, one hand print, knees are under the hips. And as if you could slide the top of the mat away from you, exhale, reach the hip creases back, lengthening through the back body. Are your arms still in the shoulder sockets? Maybe you need to adjust your hands. Curling the toes under, reaching the hip creases back. Maybe you're staying right here in this long spine. Maybe with your exhale, the belly gathers, you root to the earth and inhale, straighten through the knees, and then walk your dog. Moving one knee, bending one knee, and then the other slowly with the breath, exploring, or maybe bending the knees and coming back down to the earth and moving here so that you reach the right hip crease back as you reach into the right hand, reach the left hip crease back as you reach into the left arm. Finding a downward dog that works for you. And maybe coming into stillness here, extending through the arms, but not efforting into the shoulders. Allowing the heels to reach to the earth as you inhale the hips up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Allowing the heart to melt a little closer to the thighs. Gazing forward, deeply bend the knees or step one foot forward as you walk the hands and feet together, or if you're on your knees, step one foot forward and then the other. Exhale there, root to the soles of the feet. Inhale halfway, soft knees. Shoulders slide away from the ears and to the center of the back. Exhale, tuck the tailbone around the spine. Maybe drop the top of the head, but no effort, not crushing or collapsing the front body. Just offering some movement. Natural movement, and then finding stillness there in a long spine. Exhale, root to the soles of the feet, and inhale, stand all the way up. Roll through the shoulders, big circles. And then forward a couple of times. Inhale the shoulders to the ears, exhale, let them drop. Inhale and exhale, and then taking the shoulder loop up to the ears, together to the center of the back and softening down. And then stepping to the top of your mat if you're not there already. And finding your Tadasana, feet hips distance. Rooting into the circumference of the heels, finding the legs, the muscles in the legs becoming active without efforting. And inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. Fingertips, maybe palms facing forward, extending to the earth. Connecting with the energy of the earth and lengthening to the sky above. Allowing the breath to move freely. Finding the rhythm of your breath. Scanning your body with the inhale, noticing where are you gripping or holding. Can you soften with the exhale? Becoming aware of the space just below your ribs, the side body, that space in alignment with the belly button just under the ribs. Breathe into that space. Allowing the ribs to expand and to open, the lungs to fill. Exhaling, hugging the breath out. Creating space for that deep inhale. With your next inhale, allowing the arms to float out, around, and up. Soften the arms in the shoulder socket. Hug the arms together towards the ears. How does that feel? Active without efforting. Where's a comfortable space for you, right? Maybe drawing the thumbs a little towards the room in back of you. Have your front ribs popped out forward. Can you draw them back and still keep the natural curve in the lower back? Awareness, let go of what doesn't suit you. Still rooted to the earth with active legs. Softening the chin a little to the notch in the collarbone. With your exhale coming over to the right. With your inhale coming up to center. Exhaling left. Keeping weight in both heels. Allow for a deeper opening, rooting into the left heel as you move right, rooting into the right heel as you move left, exploring your natural range of motion, using the breath to guide you. And the next time you inhale up, float the arms down. Shake it out, let it go, roll through those shoulders. Nice. Allow the hands to float to the hips. Allowing the weight to shift over the right leg so you can step or walk that left foot back, our Warrior One foundation. And then commit to that foundation so the legs become active. Inhaling, lengthening through the crown of the head. Drawing the shoulder blades to the center of the back. With your exhale, maybe you're bending into that right knee as you lower the hips straight down. Find the foundation again. How does this feel? Are you wobbly? Do you need to walk that right foot out to the right? Wider base. Can you draw the femur bone, the right femur bone, into the hip socket? While still rooting into the left heel, moving from that strong foundation to inhale the arms up into cactus. Keeping a soft gaze ahead of you. With your exhale, bowing forward from the hip creases. With your inhale, floating up with the breath. Keeping the elbows, the back of the hands, reaching towards the ceiling, long front body. Always reaching the heart away from the belly. Never compressing through those front vertebrae, right? Adjusting the arms to suit you. Maybe the next time you exhale and bow forward, finding stillness there. Find the foundation as you reach back through the left heel, reaching that right hip crease back and in. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, maybe there's space to come a little closer to the earth, maybe not. Find the breath, root down, exhale, gather the belly, inhale all the way up to stand. Float the arms down, step that left foot forward, shake it out, let it go. Maybe taking some hip circles, shoulder loops. What do you need? And then landing in your Tadasana again, your mountain pose. Find the breath. Land in the circumference of your heels. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Even out the inhales and the exhales. Breathe into the heart space. Notice what you notice. No judgment. No expectation as we move into the other side. Allowing the weight to shift over the left leg so you can step or slide the right foot back. As you root the soles of the feet to the earth, the legs become active. As you exhale, you're able to bend into that left knee and settle the hips straight down between the legs. Recommit to the foundation, working into that right heel, drawing the left femur bone into the hip socket. Inhaling, lengthening the ribs out of the hips, softening the back of the neck. Maybe this is where you're staying today, right? Always the option to find what works for your body. Each side is different. Maybe inhaling the arms into cactus. Maybe that's too much for you today. Soften. Finding the balance of effort and ease as the shoulder blades draw together to the center of the back, as the back of the hands and the upper arms draw back. Keep that work as you exhale. Lengthen the heart away from the belly. Bow forward. Soften the back of the neck. Inhale all the way up. Exhaling, reaching into that right heel, lengthening through the crown of the head. Inhaling, rooting to that left foot. Moving with your breath. The natural range of motion that works your body without efforting, and the breath will guide you. If it becomes ragged or uneven, you've gone too far. Maybe the next time you come forward, you find stillness. Commit to the foundation. Lengthen the heart away from the belly, drawing the arms to the ceiling. Does this create effort? Or does it feel easeful? How's the breath? Drawing that left hip crease back and in. Next time you exhale, gather the belly and inhale all the way up to stand, floating the arms down and stepping that back foot forward. Walk it out, shake it out, roll it out, and land in your Tadasana again. Find a gazing point ahead of you. Soften that gaze. Aware of the breath. Smooth it out if you need to. Let go of the efforting. Actively rooting to the earth. Actively lengthening through the crown of the head. Active awareness. Aware that you're aware. Finding the joy in every breath. Allowing the hands to float to the hips. Finding that gazing point ahead of you. Allowing the weight to shift over the right leg, coming onto the toes of the left. Root down, lengthen up. Not so that you're locking the back of the right knee, but just so the muscles are hugging to the bone with the softness in the back of that knee. So that the tailbone's still at about a 35-degree angle, right? You're not tucking, you're not lifting. Front ribs draw in. Take what you need, let go of the rest. What do you need today to bring more awareness to your practice? Maybe with your exhale, the left toes lift as you flex the foot. With your inhale, they tap down. Maybe you've found support, the wall or bed or a piece of furniture to help you with balance so that you can find that work of core lengthening you, legs supporting you. Maybe you're able to lift the knee off the hip, finding the breath and moving with your breath. Maybe you're able to exhale, bend the knee, and inhale, extend, exhale, bring it back, inhale, tap it down. Your practice, moving within your natural range of motion with the breath, knowing when to challenge and when to back out. That gazing point helps to stabilize you, the strong leg, the lifting through the crown of the head. One more round, and then coming to stillness, and then releasing back into your Tadasana again. Find the breath. Notice what you notice. Where do the thoughts go? Is it different when you're in stillness than when you're moving? Do you have judgments? What is the story? Not thinking that it's good or bad, just is, but becoming aware of the self-talk. It takes us out of the moment. Using the breath to come back. And then softly blinking open the eyes if you've closed them. Allow the weight to shift over the left leg so you can come on the toes of the right. Hands on the hips, extended, finding a piece of furniture to allow you to feel safe. And rooting to that support, that standing leg. It's active. The muscles are hugging to the bone. We're lengthening through the crown of the head without compromising the breath. Exhaling, foot flex. Inhaling, they tap down. Not judging, just noticing if this side is different than the other. Maybe you're able to bend the knee, extend the leg. Maybe you're standing in stillness with the toes on the earth and breathing, allowing the breath to move easily. Still working that standing leg, the core muscles, without hiking up the right hip. So aware of keeping both sides long. Your practice, maybe you're moving deeper, maybe you're staying here, moving with curiosity as if you were a beginner. Maybe one more round like this, challenging or not. And then coming to stillness and resting in Tadasana. Finding the breath, noticing what you notice. Sensation in the body, the thoughts that tug at you, everything that makes us human without judging or expectation. And then release with the exhales. There's always some place where we're holding tension. Knees, glutes, shoulders, jaw, eyes. What are the habits of your body? Can you let it go? Still actively rooting to the earth and lengthening. Still aware of the breath. Finding the ease even in your mountain pose. Starting pose for all the standing postures, our foundation. Blinking open the eyes if you've closed them and stepping towards the long side of your mat and walking the feet nice and wide. Pinky toe sides of the feet parallel with the ends of the mat. Shoulders soften up, back and down. And then become aware of the pinky toe sides of the feet. From the inner thigh, root down. Soften the backs of the knees. Find that balance. Inhale, lengthen, lift the entire rib cage out of the hips. Exhale, hinge forward from those hip creases. Maybe the knees have to bend more, but we keep that foundation. Inhaling all the way up to stand. Exhaling, hinging forward. Hip creases closing off. If you put the pinky side of your hands in the hip creases, you will feel them hugging your hands. But we're keeping the length of the heart reaching away from the belly button, allowing the shoulder blades to rest flat on the back body together at the center, softening the back of the neck, moving slowly, aware that it's the core muscles, the front body that lifts you up, the back body that keeps you long. What do you notice? Maybe the next time you exhale and fold forward, you find stillness there, allowing the palms of the hands to rest on the upper thighs. Find that foundation again. Maybe you're able to walk the feet a little wider. Maybe not, maybe. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, maybe you hinge a little closer to the earth, maybe not. Shoulder blades slide together. Maybe the right shoulder lifts to the ceiling as the left shoulder draws towards the earth. Inhale to center, gentle twists in this fold without using the arms. So the shoulder lifts because you're drawing the heart to open to the side. Yes, one side and then the other. What do you feel? What do you notice? Back out of it. If it doesn't feel good, come up higher. Shouldn't bother your lower back. Next time you inhale to center, exhale, root into the feet and the legs, and inhale all the way up to stand. Pivot the right foot to face the front of the mat. Find the breath. Exhale, settle into your warrior two. Hips straight down. Spine is still stacked. Opening through the inner thighs. Still rooting through the pinky toe side of the left foot. Maybe inhaling, extending through the arms. Gazing over the right fingertips. Strong and gentle. Finding the balance of the warrior. Finding the breath. Maybe with your next exhale, you have space to bend a little deeper to settle the hips a little lower. No efforting in the lower back. You should feel light from the waist up, rooted from the waist down. Open through the heart space, shining that heart open. With your exhale, float the left hand to the back of the thigh. Inhale, that right arm reaches up and settles in the shoulder socket. And floating deeper into your peaceful warrior. Reaching that right hand up and over. Mostly because the body is opening. Not because the arm is moving in the shoulder socket. It settles there. Stays there and moves with the body. Find the breath. Exhale there. Inhale back into your warrior. This feels easier now. Float the arms down. Straighten through that right leg. Pivot the toes to face the long side of the mat. And the left foot pivots to find the short side. Hips are parallel to the earth. Shoulders slide up, back, and down. Exhaling, allowing the hips to settle to the earth. Reaching to the pinky toe side of the right foot. Rooted through the sole of the left. Opening up through the heart space and inhale, extending through the fingertips, squeezing over the left hand if that feels right for you. And then soften there, rooted from the hips down, lengthening from the waist up. Maybe with your next exhale, you have space to bend that knee a little deeper, to settle the hips a little closer to the earth. Maybe not today. Noticing without judgment. Aware of the breath. Have you kept an open heart and a stacked spine? Are you leaning forward or back? Can you feel it? With your exhale, the right hand floats to the back of the thigh. With your inhale, the right arm extends up. Root down, lengthen again, float into your peaceful warrior. Peaceful warrior, arm is settled in the shoulder socket. Breath moves into the left side body. Easing to the elbow crease, fingertips or straight ahead, but not letting the head hang. Still a bent knee, still active foundation. Exhale there, inhale. Find warrior two again. Strong and gentle. Finding that balance of effort and ease. Putting the arms down, straightening through that left leg so you can heel toe the legs together and step to the top of your mat for mountain pose. Find the breath. Root down, lengthen up. Smooth out the breath. Aware of the body, the connection to the energy of the earth, the vast sky above, and all the possibilities. Breathing into the wise heart. We have everything we need right here. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. With your exhale, we hinge forward, bowing to the earth. Inhale, finding length of heart away from belly. Exhale, maybe hinging deeper, maybe straightening the back of the legs. Inhaling all the way up as we commit to that foundation. Exhale, bringing it to the heart center. 2 more rounds like that as you flow through your salutes, honoring the sun, the energy, the light that's in all of us, honoring the earth, honoring our bodies. This moment. Next time you inhale all the way up, draw the hands to the heart center. 3 rounds of breath here, with the thumbs resting against the upper chest. How are the palms resting together? This is how we want to meet our life. Gentle awareness, without effort, with a grateful heart, and an easy breath. With your next inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up. With your exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthening there. Exhale, deeply bend the knees till the hands reach the earth or the block. Step one knee back and then the other. Maybe taking a round of cat and cow, wagging your tail. Moving forward and back into child pose. What does your body need? Hip circles. And then your choice, pigeon or child pose. If you're coming into child pose, you know how to move there. If you're coming into pigeon, right knee comes to the back of the right wrist, walking that left leg back, squaring the hips to the earth, breathing here into that right hip. Maybe a block comes under the hip, a blanket, a pillow. Shouldn't feel anything in your knee, backing out of anything that doesn't feel good. Coming onto your back and taking 4 square again. It's just reclining pigeon. So you would be on your back and crossing the ankle over the thigh. Or resting in child pose. Your body, your practice. We always have choices, and we get to change our minds as we become aware of something that's not working for us. Finding an easeful breath. One more round on this side if you're taking pigeon. And then moving to the other side. And maybe this side's a little different. Slowly, mindfully with the breath. Propping where you need to support the pose. Knee and back of wrist, maybe just a little to the outside of it. Softening the hips to the earth and keeping length through the front body. Always keeping an open heart. Soft shoulders. No rules. Your body, your breath. Two more rounds of breath here. And then inhaling up onto all fours. Knees under hips, extending that right leg back, curling the toes under, reaching into that heel. Extending the left leg back, reaching into that heel, straightening that leg. Nice. Allowing the hips to reach, settle back down towards the heels, the arms extended, still the head's lifted, the heart lifted. Walk both hands over to the left, keeping the hips right where they are. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can always walk the knees wide, keeping the head between the arms, equal distance, parallel, arms parallel alongside the ears. Breathe into the side body. Maybe with your next exhale, you can draw or melt that right hip crease away from the armpit. And more breath fills the side body. Soften the heart towards the earth. Inhale, walk it back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Settle, soften. No efforting. Maybe with your exhale, you reach the left hip crease away from the armpit. The left arm is still in the shoulder socket. Allowing the breath to move into the left side body. Aware of the ribs expanding, of that softening. With your next inhale, walk it back to center. Walking yourself up to sit onto your heels, hips to one side, legs to the other, and extending them out in front of you. Walking yourself up to the top of the mat. Walking the hands and back of the hips. Shoulder blades come together. Heart lifts to the ceiling. Then the feet can walk to the width of the mat and float in and out of your windshield wiper. Allowing gravity to act on the legs, not forcing them, allowing the hips to lift and find length through that side body. Keeping the shoulders relatively still. Breathe. Nice. And then coming to stillness there, walking the feet back to hips distance. One hand and then the other comes in back of the thighs. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Aware of the sitting bones rooted to the earth. Extend the right leg out, reach into the heel. Maybe the hands interlace around the shin of the left leg. Use that foundation to draw your heart up higher away from the belly, the crown of the head to lift to the ceiling. Still the shoulders are soft, but you're aware of the active core. Soften there. Maybe this is where you're staying, rooting that right leg to the earth, foot flexed, left foot rooting. Maybe that right hand walks in back of your hip. Open twist. Maybe the left arm comes inside the left elbow, the left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, open up the heart space. Keep the hips resting. Maybe gaze over that right shoulder, maybe not. How does this feel? Work the left knee into the left arm. Foundation, core, breathe. Inhale, float back to center. Extend that left leg out in front of you. Shake it out, let it go. Remember, I'm only offering suggestions. You can float onto your back and take twists if this isn't working. Important to keep this length, never collapsing the front body. How does your lower back feel? As you root that left foot to the floor, flex it, walk the right heel in, interlace the fingers or not, soften the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen the heart away from the belly, soften the back of the neck. Toes on the left foot, knee on the left foot, face the ceiling. So inner thigh to floor. Just a suggestion. If you find it, great. Maybe you're staying right here. Maybe you're walking that left hand in back of your left hip. Maybe the right arm, elbow comes to the inside of the right knee, and you're using that active foundation to inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come into a gentle open twist. How does this feel? Finding the balance of effort and ease. And inhaling back to center, extending through that right leg, shake it out, let it go. Bend both knees again, let the feet float to the earth. Exhale, carve the belly out, lower yourself down, coming to elbows or rolling over to one side or the other, and then coming to lie flat, meeting the earth with all your natural curves. Move it around and then rest in stillness. Find the breath. Legs can be extended or knees bent. Curious about what the body is still holding on to. Scanning it with your inhale and using the exhale to let it go. Exhale, one knee and then the other in for a hug. Get some movement there, making circles through the hips. Both knees together or away from each other. What do you notice? And maybe you'd like to take an inversion to complete your practice, or maybe you're ready to settle into Shavasana. Maybe there's one more pose you need to complete your practice. Take the time. There's plenty of time. Just noticing, are you moving from habit or need? No judgment, just noticing. Can you explore something different? Bringing awareness to the breath as it moves through the body. Allowing for a final softening so that we can rest in Shavasana, our final pose. Maybe 4 more rounds of breath if you're taking an inversion. When you're ready, moving into Shavasana, covering up or propping where you need to. Pillows, blankets, extended legs, bent knees. Aware of the support beneath you, allowing the body to become heavy into that support, letting the muscles release their grip. Safe, secure, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Awareness of the breath, not missing the moment. Following the inhale from the tip of the nose. Following the exhale out through the tip of the nose, if possible. One breath following the next with just a gentle pause between the breath. Releasing, softening into your natural rhythm, not controlling. Just allowing. Aware of the breath moving into the front and back of the heart space. Allowing for the wings of the heart to unfold. Softening the space between the eyes. Allowing the eyes to rest in the back of the head. Allowing the forehead to melt to the earth and all the muscles surrounding the eyes to soften and release. The jaw softens and the tongue slips away from the roof of the mouth and the lips gently meet. And all the muscles in the face melt to the earth. As we follow the breath, breathing in and breathing out. This awareness bringing us to a place of peace and rest, restoring the body with the energy of the breath, quieting the mind with the focus of the breath, bringing mind, body, and spirit back into balance. Move through the physical practice of yoga to become aware of the energy that we're using. What gives us more energy and what depletes us? We bring that into our everyday life, knowing what gives us more energy and what depletes us. Sometimes just looking out the window and connecting with the earth brings us back. Sometimes we need to actually take a walk and surround ourselves in the energy of the earth. Sometimes just a mindful work, like washing the dishes, can bring us back. My philosophy teacher once said, wash the dishes like as if you were washing a baby. Not taking our everyday life for granted. Bringing peace into every moment. Bringing awareness to every moment. Grateful for the life that we've been given. Even in these trying times. So much we've learned in this time of sheltering in place and not being able to physically connect with people. Maybe we'll move just a little differently. Awareness, the physical body, the mental, emotional body, and the thoughts that tug at us. What depletes us and what gives us more energy? Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth. Becoming aware of the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and exhales. Slowly bringing your body back from stillness. And with your inhale, extending, reaching through the fingertips. And with your exhale, bending one knee and then the other to step the feet softly onto the earth. Pausing there, transitioning, feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Relaxed and peaceful. Taking our practice off our mats and into our lives. We move into our lives with the curiosity of a 5-year-old, just as excited about the first crayfish as they are of the 100th crayfish that they find. Happy to play the 50th game of Connect Four, whether they win or lose. Seeing each moment anew. Rolling over onto one side or the other. Using your arm as a pillow and allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. connecting with the inner child. Using your hands on the earth, keeping the eyes softly closed. Bringing yourself back up to a comfortable, easy seat. And with your inhale, the arms extend. And with your exhale, the palms float together to rest at the heart center. And we lift our hearts. And we bow our heads to honor the light, that perfect light that shines in all of us, uniting us. May our hearts be steady. May our practice be of benefit to all beings. May our hearts be open, our efforts. And may all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May they be happy. May all beings find their freedom. May they know peace. May they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me. Happy to be back and live. And oops.